Hi, I'm Dave Kale. Welcome to this Christian Business Insights podcast show where my goal is to provide you with practical, actionable ideas to help you create businesses and careers of excellence and at the same time multiply your influence for the kingdom. I have been a Christian in business for over 30 years, and I have personally and contractually consulted with over 500 different sales organizations. So in these podcasts, I combine the lessons that I have learned with an out-of-the-box experience and perspective on Christianity that you will find challenging. And we put that together to provide you with practical insights and ideas that you can use to live better and lead better. Welcome to the journey. Hi, this is Dave. So do you set goals for yourself personally and maybe for your career or your business? Well, if so, then I'd like for you to join with me as I think a little deeper about goal setting. You know, goal setting is one of these hallowed practices that belong in every leader's arsenal. We've all heard that people who set goals are far more successful than those who don't. And every well-run business has a policy and a practice of setting annual goals for its various operational departments. It's a well-established, almost universally applied practice. And yet, there are times when it may be appropriate to do something else. Stick with me. Let's unpack this. The practice of goal setting involves a couple of separate yet related processes. First is the selection of the category of the goals, and second is the creation of the actual number to be achieved. So let me illustrate this from the world of sales management. In our management system, we recommend that sales managers create no more than 5 categories of goals for the sales team. So increasing sales, that would be one category. Selling more of this product or that product, that would be another category. Gaining new customers would be, all 3 of those would be categories. They identify the type of performance that is important to the company. Once the categories are determined, the next step is to assign a number to each. So, for example, in the category increasing sales, you could create a goal of increasing sales by $100,000, or sell 20% more of X product, or gain 10 new customers. Those are all steps toward the final, specifically delineated, measurable goal for the year. Now, of those 2 separate and distinct steps, the first, creating the categories, has more power to transform and focus the company than the second. In the first step, the executive is challenged to identify the 5 most important things the company can accomplish in the coming year. This is often difficult and torturous work that forces the executive or the executive team to confront several critically important elements. For example, a company mission or vision statement can light the path ahead, put borders around the possibilities. If your mission statement says that you are going to be the largest supplier to gas stations, for example, that would preclude creating a category that says increase sales to restaurants. It just doesn't fit the mission statement. Now, determining those 5 categories also requires a clear understanding of the strengths and weaknesses of the company, the opportunities in the market, and the intricacies and challenges of the market and economic situation in which the organization finds itself. This annual real-time SWOT analysis, coupled with an overriding vision and mission statement to guide the way forward, are the essentials that combine to pop up to the surface those most important categories. It is torturous, critical work because it forces the executive or the team to sift through all of the possible good things to do and instead determine the 5 best things. In other words, to identify and then to legislate, quote, what to focus on first. In our economic environment, potential opportunities and things to do continue to confront us like a swarm of gnats in the middle of a field. Any halfway effective executive or sales professional is overwhelmed with too much to do and not enough time in which to do it. The issue isn't identifying new opportunities. The issue is determining which of the opportunities that present themselves are worthy of the investment of our time. Mindlessly chasing after every opportunity that presents itself and tackling every task on our to-do lists, that is a recipe for exhaustion, burnout, and ineffectiveness. The effective executive and sales professional in today's world understands the need for a set of guidelines to keep him and the company on the path to effectiveness and success. Ultimately, one of the purposes of a goal is not to meet the goal, but to focus behavior on the result. We all need a set of things to focus on first. Matter of fact, let's call them by an acronym, FOF, F-O-F, focus on first. So FOFs are produced by an annual exercise and can vary by the level, geography, and function of the group. The FOFs for the sales department, for example, may be significantly different from those guiding accounts receivable. The FOFs for one branch may differ from that of another branch. Regardless, the function of the FOF is to provide guidance to each individual in the organization in making daily, maybe even hourly, decisions on how to invest his or her time. Given the choice of several possible things to do, the FOF-guided individual asks which of these fits into one of the FOFs and pursues it. FOFs, then, arise out of an annual SWOT analysis, are illuminated by the company's vision and mission, and function to guide everyone in the most effective use of his or her time. FOFs guide the individual to determine the quality of his or her investment of time. There are times, places, and situations where that may be enough. New organizations, for example, will find it beneficial to create FOFs to guide the investment of time and assets, as well as organizations in highly unstable environments. The goal-setting process becomes more difficult when we layer the second step, indicating a number onto the FOFs. So when we proceed from acquire new customers to acquire 10 new customers, we turn the FOF into a goal. Now we add an element that speaks to the quantity of performance. There are times and places when the achieving of those numbers is essential. For example, with a new salesperson in a new territory, acquiring just one new customer is probably not going to guarantee continued employment. He or she needs greater quantity of that particular behavior. When there are loan payments to be made, commitments to vendors to keep, and gross profit that must be achieved to keep the business viable, for example, the attainment of certain minimal numbers is essential. The difficulty is that while FOFs arise out of strategic planning and time management planning on the part of the company, the numeric element of goal setting rarely does. Rather, it often proceeds from a whole set of other variables that are far more subjective, aren't nearly as well founded as the FOF, and are just as likely to demotivate a person as it is to motivate him or her. Now, while there are situations where numeric goals called for, consider the possibility that in your situation, the purpose of the goal is not to meet the goal. The purpose of the goal is to shape and influence behavior by determining what to focus on first. Okay? Hey, if you'd like to get access to this kind of stuff, all my articles, all my podcasts, all my blog posts, etc., all my videos, then hit the link and check my Substack page. Eventually, I'm going to have everything there for free on my Substack page. Okay, put a link in the show notes. That's it. We're done. Bye-bye.